when you decided to do food plots and you start trying to pick out the best location for food plots, there's a lot of options that you can use. I'll say this, if you're limited on being able to go into a piece of ground and do the clearings that you want to do, and you've got to take advantage of whatever openings are there, do just that. Whether it be pond dams, logging roads, log landing areas, fire lanes, etc. Just take advantage of whatever area you can. And if possible, keep in mind as you're laying these food plots out several things. One is, how are you going to get into the food plot to hunt it, and how are you going to get out? You need to be able to do that by creating as little intrusion as possible. Obviously, you don't want to walk through the major bedding area to get to your food plot. Set it up so where you can come in, preferably from the downwind side, to hunt the food plot without disturbing those major bedding areas. One of the things you also need to make sure you keep in mind is try to get the food plot as close as you can to the heaviest cover possible. Deer are going to be bedding all day when they're not rutting, of course. They're going to come into those food plots typically late in the afternoon. The closer we can get it to the heavier cover, the shorter distance that deer has to go before he enters the plot. Hopefully you can get more mature deer into the food plots. Another thing a lot of people like to say is they don't think you should hunt right over the food plot itself. And that's to each his own on that. I like to hunt over the food plot in the very first part of the season and during the rut. After that, you may want to set it up to where you can back off that food plot 50, 100, maybe even 200 yards to catch deer on their way to and from the food plots. Away from it in the morning, coming toward it in the afternoon. There's a whole lot of options on if you can go in and clear areas on how you want to lay out these food plots. You can make different shapes. Obviously the old farm fields, the squares or rectangles are an option that you've got. We like to tell folks to create as much edge as you can, more narrow, maybe longer food plots. Deer feel a little bit more secure in those situations. Whether you shape it like an hourglass or maybe an L shape or whatever you choose to do, just be as creative as you want to do. One of the more popular ways too, especially down in the south and in some of the farmer CRP fields up north, is a hub and spoke where you have maybe an acre or so food plot where your stand is, and then have lanes, more narrow lanes cut off in various directions. It's a great setup for gun hunting, whether it be shotgun, rifle, what have you, because you can hunt in the afternoon to catch deer coming to feed, and in the morning you can also catch deer crossing these more narrow lanes. Whatever you choose to do, try to put about 2 to 5% minimum of your property into food plots and up to 10 to 15%, and be as creative as you want to when you decide to do it.